Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Contest Round podcast. If you don't know already, we're available on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify and iTunes. And it's been an eventful week with new content going live into game. I'm joined as always by my co-host, which is Dan of Frontline MCOC. Available, you can catch everything that he is putting up at www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog and as well on Twitter at frontlinemcoc. Links always in the bio for Dan and myself. Hey Dan, another week.
It's happened. So much has happened. I don't know about you. My real life has been insanely busy the last couple weeks. I've talked about it before. I work in the concert industry. Work in parentheses for the last year. There's been no live events, but now that everything's getting back to normal, it's been quite crazy getting shows on sale and getting people back to work and venues reopened. So I've been trying to keep up in MCOC, but we had so much happen last week with arenas and 7.2 and side quests and everything else. So let's get into it. I gotta get a little caught up in this.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. With a lot of times I talk about time targets and stuff that I have. I can imagine with yourself, trying to keep up to date with kind of grind is tough.
This month I've written everything off but Cavalier and the side quest.
Yeah.
As long as that gets done and I get my T5CC, I'm gonna probably punt on the rest of it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like I've got to. The more that I kind of feel like, because I wanted to, I hoped by the end of June or kind of June, I would 100% Act 6. But then the more that I kind of look at it, the more I kind of think, right, so on the 19th of May dropped 7.2, and I said to myself, right, you need to set yourself a target of 2 weeks to 100% Act 7.2 so I can then go back to do some of that older content. But then I'm like, right, even if I do this in 2 weeks, so say I do Wednesday the 19th to the 26th and the 2nd, I believe it's the 2nd of June when drops the new event stuff, that is, it could be cutting it fine. It may be a case it could take longer, it may be shorter, I don't know. At the point of recording this video, I should have 100%ed 7.2.1. But then it's like the process of trying to do that, because I'm like, okay, well, I might need a bit more time of training for me personally on Gwenmaster. But that's the thing. You kind of say to yourself, if you've got targets in game, it's good. But then before you know it, for me and for you, not for anybody else, you'll be covering, recording and writing guides for the next month. Because in a week's time, we're going to get the new content dump, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yeah, release notes. I mean, that our next episode should be the release notes for the June update.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's life keeps moving very, very quickly.
It's crazy. Right, we'll kind of delve into, because one of the biggest things in the last week that's kind of dropped, the big questions and problems and pain points has been arena stuffs.
Yes.
And seeing for the very first time what a 6-star would go for. 140 mil.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
140 mil was position. I'm just going to get my notes from my results from the first. I was quite happy with the coverage that I did on the arenas from a point of results standpoint. So on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, it's on screen. So yeah, the info for that was Shang-Chi at position 100. Was 130 mil. I tell 130. Maybe I did 140 to be safe, but it is what it is at the end of the day with that. But I did predict for round 2 being 140, which thank God if you're following, you would have got it, because the champion, even at, I think it was at 135 mil, was well, you didn't get it. So I believe what I'm hearing from my sources is that 140 mil would be fine. And in the Falcon one, I only found position 81 at 77 mil. And still, that's pretty respectful considering the old arena scores of the past. But it's still a frustration point to not have more of additional positions available, and people do feel, if you're 101, Dan, You never want to be.
Yeah, have you seen the graphic? It's like RIP number 101. It's got the first two people
Yeah.
to be 101. I mean, it's one of those if you're not laughing, you're crying situations. But
Yeah.
I mean, 101. I mean, at least you get the 5-star, but it's such a huge workload at that point.
Yeah.
And I think, part of it's just the number shock, right? Of 130 million.
Yeah.
For a champion. I would love to see how many rounds that is.
Yeah.
Or hours. Because with 6 stars, the numbers can increase quite quickly, especially if you're refreshing and boosting. So but it is at some point it's just about time. I don't know, man. I mean, when I see that number, like, that doesn't feel like a healthy thing to do.
No. How are
like, and not that these featured grinds have ever been really great for any sort of game life balance. I mean, when people were doing 18 to 20 mil for 4-star features back in 2017, like, that wasn't great either.
No, I think it makes it worse when it comes to like how the milestones are situated and how quickly you go past the point. And back then, if you kind of went past, I think it was 2 mil back a long time ago. So when you had going for 4 stars, if you went past 2 mil, or maybe 1.5 mil with a 4-star featured, you had nothing. But you're right, it's like the unhealthy nature of the grind. I'm just trying to remember back when I did my last featured grind, which was for a 4-star cap Infinity War, and that felt like hell to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I remember putting up like 6.5 million for cable with 4 stars back in the day.
Yeah.
That is like, I mean, you say it now, it's like 6.5 million. It doesn't sound like anything, but it felt like a lot with 4 stars.
Yeah. Because you weren't getting much points from point to point.
Yeah, same thing. I think like when I had to get 4-star Stark Spider-Man to complete the Blade Trinity back in the day, like it was craziness. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess if people have the time and they want to do it, go for it. But yeah, it's hard. It's something else when you think about like that level of time investment, and there's unit refreshes involved and all those things. But yeah, when you talk about the milestones, I feel like there was much more angst about the milestones than whereas the cutoffs was just like the sort of the sticker shock of the number. My buddy Vet, who plays Incursions with me, he is a big time arena grinder, and he sent me his screenshot from round 1. He did both of the arenas, both the 6-star arenas, to get all the milestones, and it took him 100 rounds in the Falcon arena, and it took him 104 rounds in the Shang-Chi arena, and he just said, that felt like a lot.
Yeah.
And he said it's just too much using 6 stars in both. Yeah. Basically, was what he said.
This is where I think it's important. Like, I want to do a 2-part with the next. What we're going to talk about here is like, the first part will be like number 1, like let's talk about how we're both adapting to arena grinding milestones, and the second part is like, Kabam are listening. They are going to be dealing with this, so we'll probably hear about that soon. So let's start with the first thing, like. How are you adapting, Dan, to like the milestones grinding arena? I know obviously it's different at the moment because you might be quite busy with real life stuff, but are you finding a way to kind of adapt?
Yeah, so what I did for round 2 was I did the 4-star arena up to 150,000. And then I did about 3 million in the featured arena.
Yeah.
So basically, that's going to be. I think that's going to be my plan. Is 150,000 in the 4-star every time, and I will likely do. I'm going to have to see what the champ is. That may determine it. Even though I'm probably just going for milestones. Maybe I'll push to try to get the champ in the milestones sometimes. But other than that, I'm going to have to pick one or the other. Yeah. And just go as far as I can with it. I'm not going to try to do both, which is kind of a switch for me because normally, like, I would just pick up like with the 2-star arena. It's like, all right, let's get the first 2 milestones, get some gold, move on to 3-star, get the first couple milestones, move on to the 4-star. 4-star featured, 5-star. Like that was my normal thing. Is just like pick up a couple milestones, but it's just such a pain.
Yeah.
Setting up the infinite streak. I can't see myself doing that twice in 3 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I it's fine, to do once, but it's like if I'm gonna play an arena that I can use my 6 stars in, I actually want to be able to use my 6 stars. So like you got to get to like round 20 before you can really safely use those rank 1 6 stars, right?
Yeah.
So like I don't know. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that twice personally.
Yeah. Mine's finding additional time, and that's the thing. I've now decided that I will do a 7 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the morning 1 hour arena grind on a Friday. As in Friday morning. I'm not going to do. Whilst Act 7.2 is on, I'm not. Every stream from Monday to Friday will be designated to that. Is to like do the 7.2, and then arena grinding streams. I probably won't do until. I just kind of think that the 7.2 stuff between Monday and Friday will be the best thing to do. Then the weekend is then do that additional 1 hour on Friday morning. Is then to try and find 2 to 3 hours on a Saturday, no grind on a Sunday, and within that kind of like maybe 4 hour grind, separated out over 2 days, is to then say, right, well that weekend part, so to speak, I have to get. I think I calculated 8 mil in the. Maybe separating out when the refreshes are with 6 stars. Sorry, I should have been more clear on that. So when they refresh them and do them every 12 hours. But to do up to 8 mil in one arena, so the 6-star basic, and then say all milestones in the 4-star arena. So try and kind of do like a maybe 6-8 split, so to speak, and try and do that. And then Monday to Thursday, I don't know if I'm going to have any opportunity until I've 100%ed Act 7.2. And I think with how it probably goes, it will be like once 7.2 is 100%, then we'll probably have the Grandmaster gauntlets and Summer of Pain, and then I'll have to kind of look at that and go, do I want to do this? Is this going to give me more stress? Is it more value for me to just kind of go back to 100%ing Act 6? Those are assessments I've got to make on that one. Or Karina's challenges, which again, is another piece of content which I need to find time for. But then the same thing is like, well, I need to kind of get the units to then invest into the content grind and stuff. It's a vicious circle, but unfortunately it's a circle.
And then of course 4th of July.
4th of July,
is only like 6 weeks away now.
Yeah, so it's something to kind of prepare for. So
coming for your units.
Coming for our units very, very, very soon. And the second part to this is that Kabam have listened. I don't know when they're going to like address it, because I thought they would have addressed it this week to say like, okay, look, we understand the milestone situations, but they've said they're going to look into it to a point they will answer against it, and I don't know when we're going to find out about that one. I didn't check up on that. Did they kind of give any inkling with you that we'd see something this week or next week?
I don't think it's going to be that quick of a timetable.
Right, okay.
I think they want to watch multiple rounds. That's how I read the statement. I think they're going to watch this over like a month or so and see what happens.
That's a bit of a shame, but that's not.
Yeah, I don't see this one being a quick resolution.
No.
Unfortunately for folks that are looking for that. I don't think it's all bad news. I think the Grandmaster shard thing is a good that's a good improvement for people. So it's not all bad. But I can definitely see the double 6-star thing. That's tough. Champs in the milestones, that's good. Now I think there's some discussion about where in the milestones those champs should be, especially in the featured arena. I think the basic one feels fine to me. But I think there's definitely some talk about, do we really need the 3-star at like, what's it, like 6 something mil?
Yeah, that's That's just so ridiculous. I definitely something that they should look to change, but we'll have to see. There was something as well in the Shang Chi, the 20 signature issue.
What happened there? What's the 20 signature issue?
So normally when you go to arena, you'll kind of you'll like when you pick up the champion, say from the rank, it will be blue.
Right,
which
for
indicate,
basic.
Yeah, for a basic, which should indicate that you'll get one signature from it. Similar, like the mess up is in the Abomination Arena currently. It's the fixed one where it's blue, but it kind of in the way that it's just like it's a in Bunny is true champion, so to speak, kind of indicates that it will be a 20 signature one that you get. So
right in the featured.
Yeah. So the way
because if you click on Abomination, it says it's like a basic with one sig.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that with Stealth Spider-Man.
That I guess that's where the confusion, not the confusion really lies with it, but it's like that's where the mistake is, and especially there, because Kabam did say that on the forums, Kabam Boo's apologized. I saw a few kind of like people mentioning about this as well. The impression is that this is more of a so I would say the Immortal Abomination one is fixed, so that arena is fine, but the featured one gives the impression that you're getting 20 signatures by it being again in Bunny ears true champion.
We're talking about the 4-star, right?
Yeah, talking about
the Milestones.
The 4-star.
Gotcha.
Some people were kind of like so just it's the 4-star, and the same thing with the 3-star actually. It's there, but yeah, that was something Kabam apologized for. I think they're even issuing like a little compensation package for it, but I don't know if they're going to have to.
That's good, but yeah, I mean, it clearly it if you understand the game and the differences in the arena, like visually that's not what a basic champ looks like, and it's also confusing that you're getting a basic champ in a featured arena.
Yeah.
I can understand the confusion on that one, and why people think they didn't get what they earned.
Yeah, so I saw like a few things where someone was saying that they I hit the 9 million point milestone in Shang-Chi Arena, which is supposed to reward a 4-star Shang-Chi. The milestone shows him as a proper champion rather than the blue silhouette of a basic champion. I already had a 4-star Shang-Chi at level 20 and claim the milestone. Expect to raise it by level 40. So I'm sure that Kabam will have the same kind of incident when it comes to the fact that they've got Stealth Suit Spidey in there as a true champion, so to speak, or a proper champion, however.
Yeah.
So look out for that. Right, let's move on and talk about Alliance Quest and Officer Tools, because that's interesting, isn't
it? I'm super excited about this. They sometimes they do focus groups in the CCP and kind of pitch new things, and this was something that had got pitched a while ago, and it's called AQ Officer. And it basically allows officers to preset all 5 days of Alliance Quest in the 24 hours before Alliance Quest starts. So it's no more of that, hey, someone start AQ, and you're like rushing in, or you have to set like an alarm. Like it just rolls through the whole week, and you can preset everything. So I'm super excited for this, because I think it takes out one of the last pain points in Alliance Quest that has nothing to do with actually doing fights.
Yeah.
And for like someone like I'm not an officer in my main account Alliance, but I do run my Frontline Junior Alliance, and it's always like, oh yeah, like I gotta remember to start AQ, and it's a different account, so I'm usually not signed in on my main device. Especially, if it's in the middle of the workday, like this is not convenient.
Yeah.
So to be able to do this and like not have people pinging officers to start AQ, and it just rolls automatically, and you can get the week planned out. I think that's really fantastic. So I'm very much looking forward to this tool being live in game for the next update. I think it's the June 5th Alliance Quest is going to be the first time this tool is live.
Yeah, I was looking today at the the way that Kabam has set us all up for this, because there was a thing saying there'll be no Alliance Quest series from May 28th to June 2nd in order to ensure the update does not interfere with the active Alliance activities. But follow up with, to adjust this gap, we are temporarily updating the peak milestone rewards that can be earned in between May 20th and May 25th. With additional glory that will be added to your rewards. And I checked, and I think there's like upwards of 10,000 glory that can be obtained.
Yeah, it's if you hit all the peak milestones, so number 39, it's 10,200 glory. And I think I'm pretty sure my alliance hits that
Nice.
for my main account. But even for my smaller account, some of the guys messaged me, were like, hey, like this glory is juicy this week. Can we run a little more map 4? But it's great because, they're new players building this account. They're like excited. They're like, hey, like we just broke 40 mil a couple weeks ago. Like, could we get to 50 or something like that? And I like that. That it's adorable, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's you remember back when it's like, you think back to when you were trying to break like 200,000K or 300,000K on your main, and it's like it's just so much fun to like be around some players who are like excited and growing in that way and have so much headroom to grow. I really get a kick out of that. It's like, all right, guys, like let's try to do this because it's on my main account it's like 80 mil or whatever, like that's like nothing. Like we do that in like a couple days. I never even like thought about that before. So it's cool. It's very cool, and hopefully we could get a little bit of that done. But it's definitely going to help that alliance. It's going to help alliances that people have time restrictions. I think another thing that's great is it really helps overseas alliances because nobody has to set an alarm to wake up to start a queue.
Yeah.
That's a nice quality of life thing for if you had like an officer that woke up in the middle of the night because you had to start a queue.
Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah, that's great. The way that like some countries, no, not from a European standpoint. I think it's like a lot of like Asian countries.
I think it's Asian and New Zealand, Australia, like that area of the world where it kind of resets overnight.
Yeah. So that's good. That adds like an extra benefit to those that kind of are in those type of alliances.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for a lot of positive things.
And just to clarify the thing about like the canceled series, so we just started a series. We'll be in the middle of one when this podcast drops. The series that was going to start on the 28th. Like the update would have dropped while that series was live, like the next update. So I guess that's why they're canceling it, because they probably are understandably a little bit nervous about bugs at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, why risk that, right?
That's true, especially with how things have been in the past with stuff with the game.
I preferred taking the week off and then being safe.
Yeah.
and that starting fresh when everyone's on the new system.
Yeah, let's face it. People would talk more about Kabam's kind of inconsistencies and
because you don't want to like blow up AQ on day 4 after people have already spent that amount of time.
Yeah, because then it means like they've got to then do compensation and stuff. So it's kind of good that they've kind of gone, do you know what? Let's just make it easy as possible. No AQ series. If we load it up and we find some bugs, then we can deal with it, and at least we got days to deal with it before it comes back.
Yeah, people get a week off. We all get some double glory this week.
Yeah.
We get a bunch of extra time with our champions available next week for all this content. Like. It feels like the right choice.
Yeah, that's what I love to see. Let's move on and talk about the side event and kind of go and give our final takes, because we had our final week, didn't we?
Yes, we did have our final week. I haven't 100%ed it yet because of time, and I'm still getting through all these milestones. So I guess I don't have a final take on it other the actual quest itself. I like the milestones. I'm not a huge fan of. But what's the deal with this defeat Shang-Chi with a 4-star thing, like, it doesn't seem like that's working as intended.
No, I don't even know, like, if it... I put out a video yesterday about it, because somebody mentioned it in Discord. I thought, do you know what? I'll go and test this out. I'll see what this kind of, like, Cavalier objective is like. And it's just like... The word... I mean, I've got rid of it now, so I can't kind of, like... I want to see if I can grab the wording of it. I don't know if you've got the wording for it.
Yeah, no, I've got it up. It says, defeat Shang-Chi 3 times in the final round of the 10 Rings Tournament Legendary difficulty using a 4-star skill... champion only. 4-star skill champion only. So apparently that is quite literal.
Yeah.
Like, you can, if he's at 1% and you bring in 4-star Falcon and punch him once, then it counts.
Yeah, I just brought up my image from the video yesterday, which is exploit or cheese. Like, and it's just the concept of going... Let's really, like, I know people will send me images going like, yeah, but like it's easy with a 4-star, and it's like, yeah, I know, but that's not the point, isn't it? What I'm trying to like get at is like, if you were just recently Cavalier, you got this stuff, you got a 6-star that literally is just like your lead 6-star, or like 565 like god tier champions. Just you bring along a skill for the ride, as you just said, Dan. You could just like bat Shang-Chi down to like 1%, take in, quit out, grab your 4-star, and just go. One swipe and done, and it's like, okay, yep. And it registers, and that's the thing. I don't know if like maybe Kabam was strapped for time. Maybe they wanted to keep it quite easy because Act 7.2 was released the same day in order to make it a very kind of like easier grind. Have you used any of your special side event revives or health potions yet?
No, I mean the fights are so easy.
Yeah,
it's just like Archangel, Venom, and. I'm trying to think who else I've used. Maybe a little bit of Human Torch. But, I mean, there's usually a couple Spider-Men around there, so you want Venom. Yeah. And, like I said, you know, if it bleeds and can be poisoned, you bring Archangel, because that's the quickest thing to do. I mean, there's no real nodes to worry about. And then maybe, you know, a specific champion for the boss. But it's been great, you know, as far as the actual paths. Like, once you have the keys, you can just fly through it.
It's one of these things where, apart from, say, I've heard a few murmurings about the acquisition of rings. It's actually been a pretty stable and fine side event. So everyone should have a slight celebration about that fact, I think, because we don't get them that often. I mean, it's really it's not confusing. It's very straightforward. It doesn't feel like a huge time suck. So rewards seem good. Yeah. So I you know, like I said, maybe a little bit different on the milestones to like get the keys next time. Just because there's a lot to keep track of. Like like I'm using light attacks with cosmics, but I'm using or against cosmics, but I'm using heavy attacks versus techs. Like that makes my brain hurt a little, but it's nothing that hard, I guess, at the end of the day. With all this success from this side event, I'm wondering what next month's going to be. So that's going to be the thing about kind of like...
It'll probably be MODOK's lab.
It will probably be MROC's lab. You know that's going to be the...
It'll be a complete 180.
Yeah, God, that's the thing.
Get your randomizers ready, Rich. You still got a few of those sitting in your inventory.
That's a good point. Do I have any randomizers?
I'll bet you do. I'll bet you do.
Let's have a quick look. The thing is, I've got like a name change token that I've never used before. I don't need to use it. Like, what do I change my name to? I am who I am on YouTube. So that would be kind of weird if I was to change that. But anyway, randomizers. Yes, I have buff randomizers. I have 5. No, I have 8 of them. God, there's a lot of weird stuff, isn't there?
You're ready to go.
Yeah.
8's the cap.
There's loads of weird items. I know Kabam removed a load of weird items. I've got like I've got Act 6, Chapter 3, like boost that I don't think I'm ever going to use now that I've 100%ed it. Man, there's always like very weird items in there, like mastery cores.
Oh yeah.
God, you name it, we've got it in there. But anyway, moving on to other topics in Act 7.2. I thought it was pretty good to kind of like talk about in some capacity. Dan, have you had any opportunity to do anything in 7.2?
I have not. I've watched a couple videos. I think MSD has beaten Gwenmaster with all 200 playable characters at this point.
Yeah, I think somebody said, like, why did Caban build something that was very much for MSD?
I don't know. He's the champ. He deserves it. If anyone deserves it, it's him. Let the kid have some fun.
Absolutely. They made it for his playground. Okay, my thoughts on 7.2 so far. It's like there's some good stuff. There's some stuff that you got to think about when you're 100%ing. I'm just now working. The thing is, it's so early days, and I think because that, Dan, you haven't had an opportunity to go through it, and me doing initial completions, just like saying, well, I just pick all the easy paths and then decide, okay, well, I'll do this boss. What I've been doing is I've been saving the easy bosses and doing them multiple times, and then what I'm doing is I'm then going to go and do the final two bosses on the final two paths, and say, okay, right, well, I'm designating my team to kind of structure around, maybe swapping one that I might need out for the boss in particular, but there's always one that will be the most easiest that would be pointed out.
Yeah, that definitely felt that way in 7.1, where there was a pretty clear, easy path.
Yeah. And
is that what you found in 7.2?
Yeah, there's. I ended up doing a couple times. I ended up making a couple mistakes and doing champions in a certain way that I'm like, oh, what are you doing? What? And it just like the biggest problem is once you've made that bad decision, it may cost you a little bit, and then you're like, oh, great. Well, at least I've learned for next time. At least I've done that boss once. But I'm like,
right.
A lot. I think twice it was a case of going, if I had champions that interact better with Flare or kind of like degen, I would have a better time, like Hulk Ragnarok, Spider-Ham.
Yeah, there was a couple specific ones where you kind of need those newer champs that play with degen in a favorable way.
Yeah, and that's really the thing, is just making right on mistakes. But the thing is, once you've made the mistake is kind of like, okay, I've done it, and the next part is like, okay, well, I've done that boss now, I don't have to repeat it. And it was actually when I then realised it may have been like the harder boss that I went for with the hardest champions to use against it, but it's done. It's a very annoying situation to be in when you've done that.
Yeah, once you realize this, like, oh, it didn't have to be that stressful.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Rich, if you want a 6-star Spider-Ham, he'll be in the basic arena in 2 weeks.
That could go quite well when I'm doing my 10 6-star crystal opening.
There you go.
Good. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do 10 6-star basics, which I'm going to do in about I think I've calculated 2 to 3 weeks. It's going to take maybe even a month to do that. So it's going to be like a June type video. I want to do at least 2 Karina challenges before I do that, because I'm going to open one.
Which 2 are you going to do?
I'm going to do let's just get them now. I think it's the 2 easier ones, which is going to be...
Is that like the X-Men one?
Yeah. No. That's... Does that give a... It's not going to be Mike's Revenge, but it will be Mystic Dispersed and Asgardian Cheddar. I know people say Mike's Revenge might be a tad bit easier, but because there's so many kind of like issues with that registering, I'm kind of not going to do that. So I probably will end up doing Mystic Dispersed first, and I don't know. I might do the mutant one, but I don't know.
Yeah, the 92 to 97 one.
Yeah.
I've heard if you've got 5-star Wolverine, it's quite good. For that crossbone, he's quite good for that crossbones fight. You either need him or Rogue.
Yeah, I've got Rogue. I love Rogue. I've been thinking about like, should I rank her up? But it just rinse and repeat with kind of a gathering back of either grabbing the buffs. It's ASP1, isn't it? Because that's all about doing the getting the health.
Steal,
and if you get Fury buffs, you get Fury buffs. So that's nice. Nice on that one. So yeah, once I kind of like do that, then I'll be then doing a nice little opening. I'm going to open a sneaky 6-star, which by the time this video releases, is just going to be for a 7.2 opening as a second video on Friday. So just have a little bit of a just something to kind of feel better after my kind of bad run-in with Gwenmaster and the mistakes that I made in that fight. Because I was annoyed because I can't do inverted controls very well. So when I go back, I'm going to try some champions out. I don't have Professor X, would have loved to do that, but I'll probably just, I don't know, I'll give it a second shot. The problem was I just was not getting a handle of doing very quick intercepts in order to suppress the timer. So it was causing me just a bit of aggro with that. So I need to go back soon in order to kind of like get my head around it, or spend a day just repeating that quest for the final 5 times I got to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, for final 5 times I've got to do that. So yeah,
I love that they kept it with the 6 paths in the quest. Like 6 is a good number. Once you get over 6, it starts to feel like a slog.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the final quest, like that, Gwenmaster's the only boss, right? Like you have to fight her 6 times, where you don't the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct. So yeah, you fight just the same one 6 times, which is good in some ways because I think you're repeating that fight several times. It's kind of like good to kind of like retrain yourself. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and when you've got like sort of a really designed boss like that, I think you do want to have to fight that boss. All those times, like that makes sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm hoping I get to 100% that within the next 2 weeks. I think I worked out that it took me 2 months with 7.1. So I don't wanna because I think I did it over, dropped in December, January, February, so it took me about 2 months to do that, and I don't want to do that this time because I want to get so many things in game done still, but also I've got lots of content to do. Yeah,
lots of content, and we know there's some big stuff dropping in June with Summer of Pain and those, what's it, Grandmaster's Gauntlet?
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
yeah.
We know there's going to be stuff to do, and that's probably going to be time sensitive. So
yeah,
as you say, you got to get thing A done before thing B drops.
Yeah. I've also worked out that I need to be not wrapped up, but I need to have a lot done by August, because I'm in September I'm going on honeymoon. So for those 2 weeks I need to make, I think I've worked out an additional 14 videos. I have to have like 14 extra videos stored.
Ready to go?
Ready to go, because otherwise, I can't take 2 weeks off because...
Yeah, you can't have the channel going dead for 2 weeks.
Yeah, financially, I can't do that. Because I won't be streaming and I won't be putting out content, which, means bills got to be paid. The same thing with you, it's like concerts have got to go on, so you can get your money and be paid.
Exactly, yeah. Once, never stop working.
Yeah, exactly. Never stop working. But yeah, that's really kind of wrapped up, I think, a lot of the MCOC portion for us to cover. Should we go on and talk about Realm?
Yes, let's talk about Realm. I don't know about you, I've been playing a fair amount of Realm this week. I finally got my Thor.
Nice.
And ranking him up. It's nice that there's so many more objectives and milestones in the game now that you can really get a lot of ISO quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I think I've already got him at like level 28.
Nice.
Which is a lot of fun to be able to like drop into arena, like even though you don't have any gear, like you've already leveled up the champion, so it makes getting him to at least warrior tier pretty easy. But I do like the champ, like the design, really like the heavy animation where he throws Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Feels very authentic. So yeah, he's a tank, fun champion to play.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. It's for me. I've logged in today and I've just noticed that there's like a objectives refresh thing. So that's nice. A little bit. What seems to be like some sort of like compensation thing. I've got to work a bit harder in game to get myself to get Thor, because I've just been pushing my MCOC side of things a bit more than
Sure.
Realm. I did drop in though. I did drop in to play a few rounds. I have been very disappointed with the extent of how the matchmaking has been, and as well the way the bots have been. So that's
the bots are the bots.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
You know, nothing's changed there.
Yeah, I think auto queuing is just something that's been a little bit of a pain point, and something that I've raised again on this. You know, just coming back and going like, you know, well, from a bot standpoint, it just from like the matchmaking, it just has not been at a point where I've been that happy about.
Yeah. I'll say it seems to, there's certain pain points with matchmaking. Like, I've found for the champions I have that are like just over defender tier, they've been getting good matchups.
Yeah.
But the champions I have that are sort of in that 600 to 700 range, they get bad matchups. Like you get a lot of like low level defender tier matchups where you just get crushed.
Yeah.
So I think for like the people that are just over the defender tier cutoff, the people that are really pushing and really geared up have moved further up the chain, and you're not seeing them anymore.
Yeah. I'm just reading a few kind of responses from Kabam on some stuff with bots, and also the extent of like matchmaking. I don't think I'm getting a proper kind of answer on that kind of stuff. I still got, you know, I'm not going to kind of like doom and gloom my experience with Realm, because I did really enjoy it, but I need to make that kind of solid decision about when I play this. Is it a point I'm getting fairly matched on certain things? Is this a game I have to book time with people in order to play with, in order to get the best experience? That's going to be the other thing as well. So
yeah,
when I've kind of what I've got to do this Sundays. Last Sunday I was hoping to record some stuff, but it turned out, some stuff that turned out that I had to kind of like deal with personally, so I couldn't do it. But I think I will try to kind of put some content out next weekend. I might try and record right this weekend what I want to do, and then next weekend find some time, because midweek is all about MCOC grinding and content, and then put something out and see how it does. And I think then that's the point of me going like, what do I want from this game, from a coverage? Am I enjoying this? Is it worth kind of like as a secondary game rolling in something else? And I've been getting into some other games, so I'll have to really see. But it is what it is on that subject. But you know, you're happy about this. I am happy about some stuff. Still the objectives. I've been working through the objectives best I can. I'm just about to start my grind into pinnacle quests, and they seem good so far. So
yeah, I do like the pinnacle quests. They're pretty rewarding, and it gives you something to do if you don't want to depend on matchmaking.
Yes,
which is very important in this game.
Indeed, that's very, very correct. Right, I think that's pretty much covered what we can talk about. Well, not can talk about, but there's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, we've talked about all the stuff.
All the stuff in Marvel Contest of Champions, and as well in Marvel Realm of Champions that we can. Yeah, that's it. Dan, what are you up to next week, or trying to get up to next week?
What am I trying to do? I am trying to find 5% mutant tier 5 CC so I can rank 3 Apocalypse.
Oh,
that I want to rank 3 Apocalypse. I've been sitting on 95% for like 2 weeks now. It's starting to hurt.
I feel
every time I open T5 CC, it's not going my way. Hopefully the Cavalier Selector has mutant for me.
Well, this is the thing. Like, funny you should say that. Since the addition of Tier 5 Class Catalyst, or the ability for me to pick it up, I have only picked up 21,000 Tier 5 Class Catalyst fragments in Mutant. I have formed two or three, I think it's 2 in Cosmic, and I'm more of the way to forming on there. Fully formed Mystic, which I haven't decided to use, and further than a Mutant. Fully formed a Science and little bit of getting there. Over half with a Skill, and one fully formed and ready to rank up, and formed one tier 5 class catalyst, and a good chunk of the way there to that. So that I sympathize with.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat, man. Like I've formed a skill. I have a mystic I can't use, and I'm halfway to another one. I've formed 2 cosmics. I'm still trying to form my first mutant. So it's not like I made like some rash rank up decision and then pulled Apocalypse.
Yeah, I want it as well. I want to do my Apocalypse, but I am looking at this very annoying 21,150 out of 45,000, which I tell you what, it's not going up anytime soon. But I'm happy with the champions that I've picked up, and we'll see what happens from my 10 6-star crystal opening next month as to who will be getting what. Better not be a mutant. It better not be a mutant. In any case, I'm just going to be putting out what I can. I've got a few ideas for videos, some 7.2 kind of like this champion on this particular type of content. But that has been the podcast. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming on by, listening and watching on YouTube on the various platforms. Links are in the bio to Dan and myself. Make sure you follow us, and we'll see you next time for the next episode, which should be 63. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.